Welcome everyone. Today we're discussing Ethereum, as that is a massive indicator for altcoins in general, and you should be looking at it as Ethereum 2.0 is coming, but it's delayed, but it's still coming. So before that, do not forget to subscribe beneath, like the YouTube update, and comment if you want to see some special content, and do not forget to check out our educational platform, which is in the description beneath. So let's get to the charts, as Ethereum is the main indicator you should be looking at if you want to trade altcoins. If Ethereum is showing strength, the rest will usually follow suit, as Ethereum is the biggest altcoin there is. It's the platform and a massive indicator. So what is the chart showing right now? Well, it's been showing a heavy correction. Like, we have been falling south heavily as the price dropped 60% since its previous all-time high. And therefore, people are looking for shorts at this point and are even expecting it to drop beneath the all-time high of 2017, and that's around $1,400. So we do see that the trend is south. I mean, we are making lower highs, we are making lower lows, we are flipping levels that used to be support into resistance at this stage, and we can see that a critical breaker on the USD pair is failing to break, and therefore it's another bearish support resistance flip. But is it actually that bad with the markets right now? Therefore, we have to check the Bitcoin pair. But first, we're discussing which levels you should be looking at with the USD pair in general. So what we see here is that the price of Ethereum is dropping south, meaning that we're making lower highs and actually lower lows. So how is the price going to bottom out in general? Usually, you see that the price will drop back down towards the range again, and then fails to fall to the next level. So we bounce back all the way down, that's the most likely case, in which we reject the low, bounce back upwards, make a higher low, test the high again, flip this zone, and then we have been testing the resistance several times and can start accelerating once again, through which 3K becomes the next target zone. So as you can see, the critical breaker at this stage for Ethereum couldn't break, as we are failing to do that in the previous days. What are the levels that I'm watching in general? Well, if you want to see such a path as that I just discussed, in which we are making a higher low, you want to see that this area around 2K sustains support. So right now we are approaching a support level. I'm not going to discuss that, but 2K is the level that you want to see sustain, as then you can have a small compressive period, a potential bull flag structure as well, and then the continuation can happen on Ethereum in general. However, most likely, given the current structure of the market, is that we are failing to hold on to 2K in general. So then this is the mid-range, I would call. This is the level in the middle, as it's also the previous high that we have here, and could classify as a potential support. But if it fails to hold on to, the scenario that I've just made is that we're testing this critical support zone once again to see whether enough buyers are stepping in. And then we are seeing a structure like this. And then the higher low after that would grant further upwards momentum, as that's the first time you will see such a higher low. And then we're going to test the resistance once again, meaning that this resistance will be tested several times, and the more it gets tested, the potentially weaker it becomes, and the more likely you will see a breakout happening. Then finally, what you really want to look at is Ethereum against Bitcoin, given the fact that Ethereum, the altcoin pairs against Bitcoin show whether they have strength against Bitcoin. And once they are moving in their Bitcoin pair, it shows that they are gaining momentum rather than Bitcoin USDT gaining momentum. So an example is Bitcoin USDT. So Bitcoin in itself, in the value of a US dollar, goes from 10K to 20K, and Ethereum goes from 1K to 1500. That means that your Ethereum is worth more than 50% more in USD, but you are better off by holding Bitcoin, as that went up 100%. So your Bitcoin value of holding that ETH dropped south because Bitcoin outperformed your Ethereum stack. Therefore, you always have to look at the Bitcoin pairs, as they grant you enough information whether you should be in a position, yes or no. And at this stage, we can see that Ethereum is holding support in general. We've been holding this entire supply zone and broke out to the upside, so we've got a lower time frame trend. Next to that, we do know that we are making those lower highs, lower lows in general still. But if we sustain momentum and if we can flip the range around 0.6 Bitcoin, it is flipping the critical breaker that we had to break for the further upwards momentum. So if Ethereum shows strength and holds here, the likelihood of it continuing towards this entire region around 0.75 Bitcoin is very high. So the critical breaker that you should be looking at on a Bitcoin pair is this one. If that fails, most likely we'll be seeing a test around these regions. And then that will grant you a great opportunity on the markets in itself. But if Ethereum holds 0.6, it gains momentum, can start continuing the upwards relief. Also because of Ethereum 2.0 coming and all the updates, it could get some traction in general. And when Ethereum is going to do this, you will see the Bitcoin dominance drop down and you will see other altcoins start to look magnificent as well, as some of them are still doing well. And therefore check out Sunday when I'm going to post my top altcoins for the coming month. So when we look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, we can see that it's not a tradable asset, but we can see that we've been dropping down heavily with the dominance in general since the beginning of this year, as we've had a great run on many of those altcoins. But right now, the chances that we have another run and fall south again are significant, because this 50% barrier is very important to watch. We are not cracking through it, but in general, Ethereum against Bitcoin is the key indicator for the Bitcoin dominance chart. So if we can use the Bitcoin dominance chart as a tradable asset, we can see that we are on a critical point. So on the upside, you want to avoid that the Bitcoin dominance chart breaks through 50%. So as I just discussed, if Ethereum Bitcoin drops south again and tests a lower level, we probably get that retest. But if Ethereum Bitcoin is going to hold 0.6, this critical break is going to fail. And then the trend continues south. So then we continue making those lower levels on the Bitcoin dominance as well. And then if Ethereum is going to get that strength, and now I'm swapping back to Ethereum Bitcoin in general, if it goes towards 0.75, we get a structure of compression. And because of that, we can start targeting new highs. And then we can start targeting a potential level around 0.10 or 0.13, which is around the all-time high we used to be, as that's the next area that I'm looking at, especially when the momentum starts to gain with Ethereum 2.0. And if that is going to happen, you will see altcoins starting to gain momentum massively. So those are the critical levels that you should be looking at. Ethereum is looking quite well. If you want to trade alongside me and get educated in the markets, check out my platform beneath. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you again tomorrow with a fresh new update.